Hello everybody, this is Garam, and of course, I'm gonna be the one ignoring reality. I always do. Alright, ReCore. Is this the wonderful robot-building sci-fi epic that we were promised? Or is this some awful mechanical aberration that we should sacrifice upon the robotic altar? Let's review. Alright, let's start out with story. Is it a good story? It's not bad, but it is barely there. There is almost no story for why you're doing what you're doing. You condensed all the dialogue in the game to a single video sequence. It's gonna be pretty short. So it's not that it's bad, it's just barely there. Gameplay. Alright, let me start by saying that this is not for the faint of heart or the casual gamer. There is an abundance of repetition, grinding, farming, and just generally looking around, deep exploration. So, a lot of you out there might be looking for a nice casual game that you can play, get some story, breeze through fairly quick, and beat. You're going to want to keep looking. This is not for you. This game has a fair amount of combat, but a lot of this game is very elaborate jump puzzles. And yeah, I love a good jump puzzle as much as anyone else, but oh my god, there are some levels, some of these freaking jump puzzles, that after you have fallen for the umpteenth time, the only thing you can think in your head is, I want to disfigure an iguana. Or, of course, something less insane. Anyways, a lot of these are pretty tough, but rest assured they don't start out really tough. They do gradually ease you into these more elaborate and crazy jump puzzles, so don't really, be scared off by that. You are going to get into it slower. It's going to introduce all the controls and all the mechanics, the double jumps, the boosts, and all that jazz. So, it's not going to just drop it all on you at once and be like, go! So, don't worry about that. You'll know what you're doing when you get to wherever you are. Let's talk about the controls for a second now. They are the highlight of the game. They are so fast and responsive. You flick the controller and she takes off. They are very, very responsive. You have an indicator when you jump that will show you exactly where you will land, which is great, because without that, this game would be impossible. You are going to have to jump vast chasms by doing a long double jump with a boost and essentially land on the head of a pin. This game kinda needed to have amazing control, and they do. If you jump, miss, and fall, then die, you can't blame it on the game. That's your fault, because the controls were all over it. Let's talk about combat. Combat, the idea of it in this game is very simplistic. You have 4 different energy types. Now, you're going to run around and see a bunch of enemies, and they're going to be red enemies or yellow enemies. So all you got to do is change the energy type of your gun to red or yellow, and you will do additional damage versus the same type. You can also charge up and do big burst shots, which you're going to be using to blow up enemy machine shields and barriers and so forth. But you don't use ammo in the traditional sense. Your gun has an energy bar. Now, if you just stand and spam shots, you are going to send your gun into an overheat, and you're going to be exceedingly vulnerable for a few seconds. Now, just like you would have guessed, this is a very good game where you get to rely on a companion. There are a few machines that you can pick up along the way that you are going to become just best old buddies with. So, when you're vulnerable or whatever, you can signal them to throw down their specialty attack. So, you are never completely like, holy crap, now I'm screwed. you've usually got some options. If nothing else, dodge around for a couple of seconds, the gun's energy bar recharges, and you're back in the fray. Now, the aiming of the rifle that you have is an auto aim, so you never have to worry about missing. I was concerned about this when I started the game, because it kind of takes the joy of killing something away from me if I'm not the one actually aiming the gun. But the way this game is set up, it almost had to be this way, so I let go of that pretty quick. Let's talk about exploring. You are on a gigantic desert planet. So if sand is your thing, oh boy, you're gonna get your fill. There's sand dunes and ruins and caves and dungeons and areas to explore and little hidden spots and collectibles everywhere to find. So it is a gamer's paradise as far as I want to go everywhere and find everything. You're gonna be looking around for a long time in this game, and that's a good thing. But the bad thing is every one of the higher end dungeons in the game has two different prerequisites to get in. A level prerequisite and a prismatic core prerequisite. The first one, self-explanatory. The prismatic core is a collectible that you're going to find by exploring, digging in the sand, completing challenges, and taking down bosses. So, when you get about 3/4 through the game, some of these doors will not open if you do not have so many prismatic cores, which means you are going to be running back and repeating the same old dungeons over and over, trying to do better and better and better to complete the challenges, which will give you more cores. So, like I said, it's not for a casual. It's definitely someone who doesn't mind a bit of repetition, because you're going to get a lot of that. Now, the final summary I have on this game is a lot of reviewers are making this out to be a terrible game. And I disagree. I truly do. I think that this game could have been a lot better. The story was a bit of a missed opportunity. The combat was fun and entertaining the whole way through. I never really got bored of it. But the repetition was at a point pretty straining. I mean, I got 30 hours in and I'm thinking, oh my god, just let me finish. So there's definitely that in there, but that doesn't mean it was a bad game. I enjoyed the game. I will probably play it again at some point, but if these few alterations had been changed, I think it would have been a great game. I'm going to give this game an 85. I'm knocking that down just a little bit because the repetition is going to be too much for a lot of people. The story was a bit hollow, and there were several things that I felt like they should have allowed further customization on. It would have made the game more personable. So, I really do hope this helped you guys out, and vanish!